It's a collective bracket that we've been doing. Let's get right into it. In the Midwest region, we will continue there. We've already picked the South and the West with Auburn and Florida winning those. Let's get to the Midwest right now. Your 1 seed is Houston taking on 16 seed SIU Edwardsville. I would imagine we're going to go Houston across the board. If somebody wants to yell at me and say, no, I like the upset, fine, but I'm just going to move on to Gonzaga and Georgia. That one's a little bit more interesting. The 8-9, Terrence, what do you think about that one? The Zags have been to the Sweet 16 a lot of times in a row. Will they continue with a win against Georgia in that 8-9 matchup?
Call this the Blue Cane game. Give me Georgia and Asa Noel. Those guys are good. They're better than people realize. I haven't been a fan of Gonzaga all year.
Yeah, I feel like people have kind of been penciling Gonzaga in prematurely. So Georgia's 1-4 of 5, has some solid momentum right now. Question is whether or not they have the horses to keep up with Gonzaga offensively, and I think they do. I'm going Georgia.
Yeah, so we're going to go collectively Georgia as a group here. The next game has been a popular, trendy pick at 12-5. McNeese State taking on Clemson. Will Wade taking on a Clemson team who's been pretty consistently good in the ACC throughout the year. A lot of people taking it. Terrence Oglesby, are you one of them, Mr. Clemson?
It's a bad idea to take that game. Clemson's going to win it because both teams are good at the same stuff. Will Wade, ironically enough, a Clemson graduate 2 times over, and he's just agreed to become the head coach at NC State. So it might be an ACC preview, but not on fair terms. Clemson's more talented.
Yeah, I'm also going Clemson. I think they should be motivated. I thought they didn't play up to their standard defensively in that ACC tournament game against Louisville. So I think they'll be dialed in, and I'd expect them to have a different level of focus for this one. I got Clemson going relatively far here.
All right, we're going to stick Clemson across the board into the second round. Purdue and High Point. Purdue's been a little wishy-washy. High Point has won 29 games, perhaps a chance for an upset. Mike, do you think Purdue is vulnerable going into this game, their first tournament in a while without the big guy?
Yeah, they may be vulnerable. I don't think they lose this game. There's something about having that core group back, that it was a part of that 16-1 upset, that I think allows you to play a little bit more free, having your worst fear come to life 2 years ago. So I don't think they'll be scared of at all of High Point. I think High Point's going to struggle with the 2-man game of Braden Smith and Trey Coffin-Renn. I think it's a big Trey Coffin-Renn game, even against Bodo, the defensive player of the year in the conference. So I think they got a physical advantage, and I think they win this game against High Point.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I'm going Huss Bus, High Point. They got a lot of really good players. Demarion Williams started at Texas Tech last year, and Bobby Pettiford was a spot starter at Kansas. There's real talent on that team, and Purdue's been struggling as of late. Go ahead, Childers, pick us one.
I'm going to tie break for the same reasons you just said. I'm going to go High Point. I've been watching them, Pettiford and company, that backcourt. They can make you do some dumb things. They can shoot it well, turn you over. Purdue's been a little wishy-washy. I think High Point, the 13, gets the upset, a black eye for the Big Ten. That takes us to 6-seed Illinois taking on Xavier. Xavier just won their first 4 game over Texas. That one was crazy back and forth. Xavier had a little comeback. But Illinois and Xavier is now the matchup. So the SEC has already lost the team. Mike LaTulip, that's your school. Does Illinois advance?
I think they do. I think this was a really emotional win for Xavier tonight. I think there's a chance that this took a little bit out of them, but Sean Miller's a hell of a coach. They're tough as hell as a team. I'll be really curious to see how they guard ball screens on Kasparis Yakashonis. Do they show? Do they drop? That may determine the game, but I'm going Illinois.
You know what? These first 4 games are so weird to me, because I feel like we've seen teams come in with a certain amount of momentum, and if Marcus Foster is able to hit shots, that changes things. However, individual talent and Brad Underwood in the tournament, he's not getting to the Final Four, but I don't think he's losing the round 1. I'm going Illinois.
Mm-hmm. I think they have the talent to get to the Final Four. They just haven't shown it throughout the year, the consistency. But I think in this game they survived. So I'm with you guys collectively, Illinois. Kentucky and Troy. Mark Pope, his first year with Kentucky. They'd love to see this team at least get to the second week, and they've had some issues advancing in the past couple of years with Cal. They take on the winners of the Sun Belt, Detroit Trojans. T.O., do you think Kentucky's safe?
No, I don't think they're necessarily safe. I think there's upset potential here. I think Kentucky ends up pulling away, but Scott Cross is a really good coach, and he has won consistently his entire career. They've got a guy named Conaway who's pretty good too. Lamont Butler, is he able to stay healthy? There's just been health issues all season for Kentucky. That's what makes me nervous, but I think Kentucky wins this one, and I think they run into a buzzsaw against Illinois next round.
I'm surprised. I think I'm going Kentucky, but I think Troy's the Sun Belt A&M. So I thought you were going to go with them T.O. They're really good on the offensive glass.
Every school in the Sun Belt. Every school in the Sun Belt's an A&M. Like they can't shoot for shit, and they all rebound well.
Great on the glass. Yeah, I like Kentucky's like Troy won't be outmatched physically at a number of positions in this game, but I just think I agree with T.O. I think over the course of 40 minutes, I think that Kentucky's going to be a little bit too much. I'm going with the Cats.
Yeah, one of those games we think will probably be interesting at halftime, but Kentucky will wear them down. UCLA is the 7 taking on 10-seeded Utah State. T.O., do you like the Aggies or the Big Ten's newest team, the Bruins?
I love Utah State early in the season. That zone was giving people problems, but I think people's figured it out. And Utah State's, they're good. They're not great. I feel like UCLA and Mick Cronin, what they're able to do and how he's able to draw up stuff. He's one of those guys who never leaves the office. He's going to find wrinkles in that zone that he can exploit. So for that reason, I'm going UCLA.
Yeah, I think UCLA is going to get back to form defensively. You give Mick Cronin almost a week to look at the tape of giving up 19 threes to Wisconsin. He's going to have something for those guys in practice. I fully expect Utah State, like T.O. said, to go zone. And, UCLA is not a poor shooting team, and they're good on the glass. So I like UCLA.
All right, no reason to tie break there. The Bruins in the second round. Tennessee, Wofford. Do either one of you think Tennessee will have any issues with 19-win Wofford?
No.
All right, so that takes us now to our second round in the Midwest region. That sets up a game between Houston and Georgia. That is a 1 seed taking on a 9. I know T.O. said he thinks Georgia is awfully good. So is Houston. LJ Cryer, the defense. Does Houston get back to the Sweet 16, T.O.?
Houston does get back to the Sweet 16. I think that might be their final win, though. Just throwing that out there. Houston relies on a lot of hard shots.
You think they're vulnerable after that? Mike, what do you think? Do they beat Georgia?
I do. I do think they beat Georgia. I'm not going to add much more analysis beyond that. I think Houston advances.
Next game we got to go to here is Clemson and Purdue. I have a feeling you guys are both going to go Clemson here, but I want to find out why. Mike, why?
We didn't pick High Point.
Oh, hold on a second. Where am I at now? Houston, Georgia. Okay, so Clemson and High Point. That's
Clemson High Point.
You're right. I was the difference maker. Clemson High Point. Mike, you still go Clemson?
It's going to be Clemson Purdue, but for the sake of the bracket, Clemson High Point. I just think the experience and again Clemson kind of getting back to form defensively. I got Clemson.
Yeah, Clemson's the rough, the rugged, and they've got guys who can hit shots. So give me Clemson.
All right, we're going to go Clemson there as well. Illinois, Kentucky. Does Illinois have enough to get by Mark Pope's Wildcats, Mike?
I think they do. I think it's the perfect type of game for them. A team that wants to run, wants to play with pace, not overly physical. Illinois struggled with the Dukes, with the Marylands, with the front court versatility of those teams. And, I like Andrew Carr. I like Amari Williams. I don't see that for Kentucky. And can they stay healthy throughout the tournament? I'm going Illinois in this one.
Yeah, Kentucky just hasn't been healthy enough. I'm going Illinois too. Yakashonis and Ivisic, man, a lot of talent there. And then Will Riley, who I can't remember who I heard a comparison with him the other day, but long, athletic, can shoot. Like there's so much talent on Illinois, and I just trusted Underwood's going to put them in the right spot.
T.O., Tennessee or UCLA real quick?
Tennessee.
Mike?
Tennessee.
Okay, so we got the Vols taking on well, let's go through it. So we have Houston and Clemson in the Sweet 16 in the Midwest region. Do we have Houston or Clemson winning? Mike?
Go ahead, LaTulip.
I got Clemson going
He's
to
got
a
a look.
back-to-back Elite Eights.
Yeah, I
Clemson
like
going
Clemson back to the Elite Eight here. I do too. I think the injury of Dylan Hunter hurts, but Houston, they just rely on so many hard shots. That's kind of where I'm at there. A lot of left-handed step-back jumpers. Uzan's a great player, but like tough finishes around the rim, and Clemson's got some rim protectors. Give me Clemson to the Elite Eight, 2 years running.
We took Kentucky over Illinois, right?
Illinois.
No.
We took Illinois. Okay. So Illinois, Tennessee in the Sweet 16. Mike, does Illinois win?
It's a rematch of earlier in the season with a Gainey buzzer beater in Champaign. So some revenge may be on the mind of Illinois. I really like what Tennessee's been doing lately, and Lanier and Ziegler and Gainey I think Gainey's changed everything for that team, to be honest. Just him and really coming on this year. So I'm going to go Tennessee here, as much as it hurts. I don't want to be a homer, so I'm going Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee. Anytime I see Jemai Meshack on the other side of the floor, I get nervous if I'm an offensive player. And Tennessee gives teams PTSD. So I'm going Tennessee there.
All right, Clemson or Vols, T.O. Is Clemson in the Final Four?
No, I think that's where it stops. I'll take an Elite Eight. I'm going Tennessee there. I think Tennessee, the Final Four. Rick Barnes busts through the ceiling. He's good to go.
Mike?
I concur. Tennessee.
3 teams now from the SEC that we have in the Final Four collectively, with Florida, Auburn,